What's up? How you guys doing? Welcome back. Today I just wanted to talk to you about what my ASVAB experience was like, how I studied, what material I used, what my score was, and how I got the score. It was pretty easy to study, but you have to put the time into it. The books that I used to study was the ASVAB For Dummies, and I spent about a month kind of looking over the book and going through what I knew I needed to focus on, and skimming through the rest of the stuff. Math, I'm 37 years old, so it's been a long time since I went over geometric shapes and fractioning and equations and formulas. So allocating those to memory took a lot of practice, a lot of studying, and repetition. The ASVAB For Dummies book pretty much goes over all of the subjects that you need, and it also goes through all of the processes that you need to learn in order to pass the ASVAB. So it's going to kind of cover a little bit of everything. It covers the time, the length of the test. It gives you plenty of practice tests, and from my experience, what I noticed was that the more practice tests that you take, the more familiar you'll get with the format, and you'll be comfortable during test day. I think that's the key to passing the ASVAB, is to study and take as many practice tests as you can. I took about 6 practice tests. I used mastertheasvab.com, who it was put up by Grammar Hero on YouTube. You could just search Grammar Hero, and I'll put the link in the description below to his videos. He helped me out greatly. He goes over all the algebraic equations, geometric shapes, and he also advises that you take at least 6 to 9 practice tests. So you go on his website and take a pen and a paper, and when he writes out the equations, pause the video, work the equations out, and then go back and watch how he solves the problems. Another phenomenal resource was Fort Bend Tutoring. He's another one, same thing. Get a pen and a paper out. When he does the equations, pause the video, solve the problem, and then go back and then watch how he solves the problem, and then continue to do that. He has, like, Fort Bend Tutoring. He's got every type of algebraic equations, fractioning, factoring, geometric shapes, everything. And Grammar Hero, he has been putting up all sorts of other material as well for sentence. The Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery covers 6 or 7 different subject matters: paragraph comprehension, word knowledge, mathematical knowledge, science. I'll list everything in the description below. But yeah, Grammar Hero are really awesome. I also went on to passtheasvabnow.com, and I downloaded their they have like flashcards that you get, and it's all of it's worth the investment. I used all of these. So what did I use? I used the passtheasvabnow.com, mastertheasvab.com, ASVAB For Dummies, Grammar Hero on YouTube, and Fort Bend Tutoring on YouTube. Those were all the resources I used, and then I also searched other. There were certain equations that I wasn't familiar with, so I used YouTube a lot. But I would say that I probably put about like 2.5-3 months into studying, and I put about 3 weeks into like hardcore, let's really focus studying right before. And I'm telling you, I did 6 to 8 hours a day studying, like 5 days a week. And then the week before, I mean, I studied hardcore. They say you shouldn't study the day before. I studied about 6 hours the day before. And then I ate good, got really good sleep, and then got up at 4 in the morning, and then went into MEPS, and I took the ASVAB. I was the first one there in the morning. They instruct you to go downstairs, make a left, and there wasn't really like, I got a little confused, so I didn't start my test right away. I ended up being there until about 12. It took me 3.5 hours because I took the ASVAB, I took the TAPAS test, and I also took another side tests attached to it. So I took 3 tests that day. I don't know what I got on the TAPAS, but on the ASVAB I got a 78. Which is pretty good. I've never taken the ASVAB before. I got a really good score on my SATs in high school, but like I said, I'm 37, and it's been a long time since I have, practiced these. They were just like foreign concepts to me again. Chinese, relearning a new language, and I'm really good at languages, so I just knew that if I allocated the time and allocated the formulas to memory, and once I take the test, I'd do pretty good on it, and I did. I mean, I think 78 is pretty good. And I talked to the liaison after I took the test. Here's another thing. My recruiter was supposed to stay and meet with me after the test and drive me home. He left early because I was taking longer than expected because I didn't find the test room. Maybe I didn't follow directions, but it wasn't clear to me, and someone else told me to go sit, and then I got up and asked someone. They said, no, you're supposed to go over here and sign in. I'm like, okay. So I was a little late for the test. I ended up sitting, I didn't get home till 9 o'clock that night. I got up at 3:30 in the morning. I got to the recruiter's office at 4:45. We got to ASVAB, to the MEPS center at 7 o'clock. I signed in, and I was at MEPS until 6:30, and we had to drive home and rush home traffic in New York back to Eastern Long Island. Didn't get home until 8:30, 9 o'clock. It was a long day, just to take a 3-hour test. I sat there all day. I got to network with some people, but then what was cool is I got to talk to the liaison, and the liaison said, hey, Sean, get in here. And I'm like, oh, all right, what's up? And he goes, you know what you got on the ASVAB? I said, no. He goes, you got 78, and here's your line scores. And I'm like, ah. And what happened with me is that I asked my recruiter, can you just give me 3 more days? And the recruiter insisted, kind of demanded, no, you're taking the tests. You're taking it this day, and you're not waiting any longer. And I was like, just give me 3 more days. If we can do it on Monday, I'll have this down pat. Like, I still haven't, I'm still timing out on the test. I need to get my CPU up a little bit so that I can process these equations a little bit faster so that I can get all the questions done. Well, during the mathematical knowledge part of the test of the ASVAB, I timed out with 5 questions to go. And I was answering the questions right. I was confident with them, but it was just taking me a little bit longer to fill out, to finish and work out these problems so that I can get them right, trying to, factor and all that stuff. I wasn't really quick with it. I had to take my time to make sure I was getting it right. So I timed out with 5 questions to go, and I got a 78. If I was able to get my CPU up, my processing, in order to get those questions finished up and answered, I probably would have got an 85 or an 86. So if you want a good score and you want to open up as many jobs as possible, and that's what this test is. This test is going to qualify you and open up jobs for you. So that the higher the score you get on your ASVAB, as you probably watched other ASVAB videos, the more jobs are going to be open and available to you. So study, allocate the time, and allocate to memory these equations and formulas so that when you're in the test, you're confident, you're comfortable, and you're proficient. Right? These are really important in order to make sure you score high. That's about as much information as I have for you. It's just basic, simple, high school algebra, geometry, mathematical equations, factoring. Um, yeah, just study your butt off and put time into it. You're gonna have to put a couple of weeks, especially if you're older and you're out of high school and you haven't practiced this stuff. It's gonna take a little bit of time, but if you do it and you're really serious about getting as many jobs open to you, you'll do it. So that's my advice for you. If you like my content, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, yeah, I'll get some new videos out to you soon. But yeah, so far, this is my process. The next video I'm going to make is going to kind of be a continuation and a follow-up of my first video. Just kind of, my process of what I've been going through the enlistment processes, the little hurdles that I've been going through. But from there, rock and roll, guys. Have a nice day. Peace out.